Hey y'all, welcome to the holiday desserts edition of Batter Chatter.
Today's video is part of an open collaboration that I'm hosting here on my channel. All that means is that there's going to be lots of different creators that are creating a video very similar to this one, sharing their most favorite holiday desserts. So once you're done watching this one, be sure to check out the description box below. I will have a playlist where all of their videos are linked. I'm making a double chocolate mocha trifle. It's a family favorite, and Stephen has a different name for it, so be sure you stay tuned so you can hear what he calls it. As always, I will have the recipe linked below so you can see all of the ingredients you'll need. The first thing I'm going to do is take this box of brownie mix and follow the directions on the back for cake-like brownies. It's a little bit different than the traditional way that you would make them, so make sure you follow that step. It's pretty important. Now I'm going to bake these cake-like brownies according to the directions on the back of the box.
Okay, so our brownies are in the oven, and I just wanted to let you guys know, if you're new here, you may not have seen this video before, but I have a video on my binder, my recipe binder. I love this thing. It is starting to fatten up now that I've tried so many new recipes. But if you want to see that video, I will link it below. And I don't know if you could tell in the intro, but this particular recipe is well loved in our house. I don't know if you can see the chocolate on the front of the page. It came from a Pampered Chef, I forget what they call that, maybe Season's Best, the little $1 recipe binders that they sell at the parties. I got it many years ago and we fell in love with it. It is definitely not a holiday dessert in that there's anything holiday about it, but I always make it for the holidays because my family loves it. Stephen loves it. It's called Double Chocolate Mocha Trifle. But if you ask Stephen what this is called, what do you say, babe?
Shuffle truffle.
He has always called it shuffle truffle. I don't know why, but that's what my entire family, extended family, they all know. And when it's holiday time, they say, Mandy, are you bringing the shuffle truffle? So we're waiting on the brownies to bake, and then we will put the rest of everything together. It is not a hard recipe at all. It's so good. So let's chat. So for this batter chatter, I know it's holiday desserts edition, but my favorite holiday is not Christmas. I love Christmas. My favorite holiday is Thanksgiving. There are several reasons why that's my favorite holiday, but probably the biggest reason is that it's just very low-key. It's centered around food and family. And also there's football on that day. It's not Clemson football, which is my favorite, but there's football on, and I love football. But there's no expectations of everyone getting gifts. There's no hustle and bustle that way. Like, that's just very stressful. As a kid, of course, that's your favorite thing, but as an adult, that becomes really stressful. So I really enjoy Thanksgiving because it's still the fall weather. It's not too cold, and we do host. And our families come over here and it's a big crowd, and I love hosting. We've only been hosting for like 3 years now because the house that we lived in before this house was a good bit smaller and it was not really conducive to having a large crowd over. I think we hosted one time. Is that right, babe? I think we hosted one time. And it was like, we were like sardines. It was a lot of love. It was a lot of fun, but it was just not very relaxed because we were all kind of scrunched in there. So we love that this house has a really open front half of the house, the living room, the dining room, the kitchen. It's got a lot of room. So we have all of our family come over, we eat all the good food, and we just have a great time together. I look forward to it all year. We're still working on the menu for this year. I've already talked to my mother-in-law and my mom, and we're just kind of trying to figure out who's bringing what, because I definitely don't do all the cooking. We all kind of just share that, which is really nice. It takes a lot of the stress off of me. But this year I'll be making green bean casserole. Y'all knew that was coming, please. Green bean casserole, and then I'm gonna make that new corn that changed Steven's life. It's fried corn with bacon. I'm gonna make that. And I know I'm gonna make the double layer pumpkin cheesecake. I've shown that before too in the Friendsgiving video. I'm gonna link all these videos that I'm referencing below. And that might be the only 3 things that I'm really in charge of. I'm very blessed that other people are willing to make a lot and bring it too. So it's really not a stressful day. So Steven just reminded me of a great story. Y'all are gonna love this. Okay, the one time that we hosted Thanksgiving at our old house. How I forgot about this, I don't know, babe. So it was it was a great time. We had a wonderful time. Everybody left. We go on about our lives. This goes to show you how much I used to cook, babe. Not very often. So it's been several days since Thanksgiving. The house is pretty much back to normal, but we're noticing in the kitchen that there's this awful smell that's really started, and it's coming from like the stove area. And this was back when I had the traditional burner stove, like I didn't have a flat top stove. And I had made mac and cheese maybe for Thanksgiving, and I think I had a problem and I had spilled some milk. So I thought that that was the smell that was coming up. I thought it was that like spoiled milk or something. So y'all, that's awful. Even though I had cleaned it up, I thought somehow that smell is still lingering. So I like took all the eyes off the stove. I deep cleaned the stove like on top and went about my business. It's been a couple of days after that, and we're like, it still stinks and it's getting worse. And we could not figure out what it was. It's like, I've like scoured the stovetop. It is so clean. Y'all, it's been like close to a week at this point, okay? Steven just happens to open the oven. And there is a turkey carcass in there. It was disgusting. The smell almost knocked us out. Apparently on Thanksgiving Day, I mentioned that was a much smaller house. There was hardly any counter room whatsoever. I guess someone had put the turkey, what was left over of the turkey, back in the oven to save space on top of the counters. And we didn't know that it went back in there. And I very rarely cooked back then. Very rarely, y'all. It was bad. So I had not even opened the oven in a week. It was awful. There's your Thanksgiving story. So the brownies are almost done, which means I need to finish up the dessert, and then me and Steven are gonna do a taste test for you. Now that our brownies are done, we want them to cool completely. You are going to kind of put these in cubes, or you're going to kind of break these up. So this does not have to be pretty. And normally you wouldn't go ahead and cut up brownies while they're still hot, but I was wanting them to cool kind of quickly. So that's why I'm cutting them up, and I'm just going to transfer them over here to this wire rack so that they will cool down faster. I've got 1/4 cup of warm water, and I'm just adding 4 teaspoons of instant coffee. I'm going to stir that around so it dissolves. I've got 1 3/4 cups of milk, and then I am emptying in 2 packages of instant pudding mix. It calls for white chocolate. I can hardly ever find white chocolate, so I usually just do 1 vanilla and 1 chocolate. I add my coffee into that mixture and then whisk it around until it starts to thicken up. To the pudding mixture, I'm adding 2 cups of thawed whipped topping, and I'm just going to fold that in. You don't want it to completely stir in, but just mix it around really gently. Okay, now it's time to layer everything up. So you're going to do 1/3 of the brownies on the bottom, and I'm just breaking them into kind of bite-sized pieces. Top those brownies with about 1/3 of the pudding mixture. Just spread that around evenly. Lastly, for each layer, you're just going to top it with a little bit of the HEATH bars that have been crushed up. I buy that in the baking section.
they've already done the work for you. It makes it really easy. Then you just repeat that process 2 more times. So you're gonna have 3 layers of brownie, and then pudding mixture, and then Heath bars.
Shuffle truffle.
It's shuffle truffle time. You ready?
Right.
This is one of our favorites. If you like coffee, like mocha stuff, you're gonna love this one.
I like how messy it is too. If it's not messy, it's not good.
So Cole just came in here and he's hovering because he wants some. And he's just staring at it. You want to be on camera? Uh-oh. They're dying to see you, Cole. Come on in.
Can't have none of this. We've got the crunch of the Heath bar.
Which is nice.
And then you've got the soft texture of the whipped cream.
Well, and then it's mixed in that whipped cream and pudding mixture. You've got that little itty bit of instant coffee too. So, which I think you could leave, if you're not a coffee fan, you could probably just leave that out. So instead of a 1/4 cup of the water with the coffee, you could just do an extra 1/4 cup of the milk.
Yeah.
I would think that would be fine. We just devoured this whole thing.
Food does not stand a chance in this house.
It doesn't. Any other mamas relate? I go to the grocery store on Monday. By Wednesday, we're out of food. I'm not even kidding. I see you. Little Lou. She has been under my feet this entire time. You cannot have it. It's chocolate. Thank you so much for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed this. Don't forget that after you're done watching this video, you want to go down to the description box and click on the playlist of all of the other holiday dessert videos. There's gonna be a ton of them, and I'm sure you will get lots of inspiration for the holidays coming up. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, I would love for you to join my YouTube family. It's totally free to do so. Just hit that subscribe button below, and then if you want to know of every single video that I upload, just click that little bell next to it, and YouTube will send you a notification anytime I have a new video. Thanks y'all, and I'll see you next time. Bye.